In Part 3 of Lecture 9, we will discuss software licenses. A software license is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. You are buying a license so you can run the software. They're often referred to as end-user license agreements. In the illustration, the agreement shows you 3 of its terms. You have a right to download the software and to save the download so that you can install it. You can make an extra copy as backup. This means that if your disk drive or your computer is damaged, you have an extra copy for your own use to restore it on your computer. You can make copies to write a review of the product or to teach using it. Not every license works quite like this, but it is somewhat representative. When you start the installation process, you will get a window open that shows the end-user license agreement and the opportunity to accept or reject the agreement explicitly. But if you reject it, it won't let you install it on your computer. Most software is copyrighted, which means that the government has granted its creator exclusive property rights. You can't copy copyrighted material or use it in ways that the copyright holder doesn't want it used. But this doesn't apply to everything. Public domain software is not copyrighted. Either the copyright expired, or the author has given up the copyright, making it available to everyone without any restrictions. Proprietary software is quite different from copyrighted software in that the owner has restricted its use. Any restriction on its use is indicated in copyright, patent, or license agreements. Commercial software, as its name implies, is software that is intended for sale. And most commercial software is sold either in retail stores or online. Because most commercial software is marketed for individual users, it is usually distributed under single-user licenses, which restricts its use to one person at a time or to one computer. These two licensing terms have an important, if subtle, difference. Sale to one person implies that the one person can use it on more than one computer. If you are using it on your home desktop computer, you can't be using it at the same time on your laptop, or vice versa. But your sister could not use it on your desktop computer, whether you are using it on your laptop or not. But a license for one computer would allow anyone using that one computer to run the program. But if installed on your desktop computer, you could no longer run it on your laptop. A site license is for the site where the software is going to be used. For example, it would allow Adelphi to install the program on all its computers on the main campus. In most instances, the rate you pay would be based on the number of computers on campus. It may cover a number of computers on which it can be based. Multi-user licenses cover a number of copies that can be run at the same time. Its pricing is based on the number of copies installed. We have spoken earlier about public domain software, software that doesn't have a copyright. Freeware is different. There is a copyright, just one where the owner is willing to give away the software for free. Freeware is fully functional and there is no charge. This is different from demoware, where the program is free but can only be used for a limited period of time. It is essentially a marketing tool, and for this reason, it frequently comes pre-installed on new computers. Software piracy is the unauthorized use or distribution of copyrighted software, and it can be quite frequent. Many companies such as Microsoft have been battling software piracy for a long time. One tool that they have used is having the software work for a relatively short period of time, such as a month or 90 days, and then requiring them to activate it to keep it functional. Activation typically requires a product key or activation code, which you can only get by registering the product with the company. The process requires giving them the serial number. The serial number has to be valid, and it could not have been used before. This stops piracy cold in its tracks. Open source software is different from public domain software. There is a copyright that the owner is choosing to enforce, but only in one way: preventing its sale or resale to others. It is different from freeware. The owner makes the actual source code, the program as written in a higher level language by the programmer, available to the public. This gives others the chance to make modifications that may be included in later versions. The operating system Linux is an example of this. Open source software usage is governed by open source licenses such as BSD and GPL. As I mentioned before, the illegal distribution of copyrighted software is called software piracy. And turning that around, we know that pirated software is software illegally copied and sold or distributed, even if it's without charge. Although it's rare, there have been cases where consumers bought pirated software, not realizing that it was illegally copied. Aside from the ethical and legal issues, a big disadvantage of pirated software is that you may not receive important software updates, and you would not be eligible for authenticated upgrades, which are usually sold to previous owners at discounted prices.